Bitcoin fans say it's the perfect store of value. Scarce, can't be inflated. Decentralized. No government can take it. But land did this first. 5,000 years earlier, land is the original Bitcoin. Fixed supply. Can't create more. Wealth preservation across centuries. Families stayed rich for generations by owning land. And just like Bitcoin, land created the same problems. Wealth concentration, inequality, violence over ownership, and eventually, governments finding ways to tax and control it anyway. This is the story of how land became the first cryptocurrency, how it made people rich for millennia, why wars were fought over it, and how the same issues Bitcoin faces today existed 3,000 years ago. Stay with me, because understanding land as money explains everything about wealth, power, and why some families stay rich for centuries. Let's start with why land became valuable in the first place. 10,000 BC, humans are hunter-gatherers. Land has no value. You can't own it. Everyone moves constantly. Territory is temporary. Then agriculture is invented. Suddenly, land matters, because land produces food. Whoever controls land controls survival. And land has unique properties that make it perfect as wealth storage. Property 1. Fixed supply. You can't create more land, except tiny amounts through land reclamation. This is exactly like Bitcoin's 21 million coin limit. Supply is capped by nature. Code. Unlike gold, new mines can be discovered or currencies can be printed. Land supply is essentially fixed. Property 2. Durability. Land doesn't decay, doesn't disappear, can't be destroyed except by extreme events. Your great-great-grandfather's land is still there, still productive, still valuable. Bitcoin has this property. Data doesn't decay. Your Bitcoin will exist as long as the network exists. Property 3. Can't be easily stolen. Land is hard to steal. It doesn't move. Everyone knows who owns it. Taking it requires force and publicity. Bitcoin has this too. Can't steal Bitcoin without private keys. Even with force, theft is difficult. Property 4. Generates value. Land produces crops, rents, resources. It's not just stored wealth, it actively generates more wealth. Bitcoin doesn't have this. This is one area where land is superior. These properties made land the ultimate wealth preservation tool. For 5,000 years, the richest families were landowners. And just like Bitcoin, land created a new class system. Those who owned land and those who didn't. Here's where land and Bitcoin get eerily similar. Wealth concentration and inequality. The early adopter advantage. When agriculture started, anyone could claim land. Just occupy and farm it. Land was abundant. The people who claimed land early became the aristocracy. Everyone else became peasants. Sound familiar? Bitcoin early adopters bought for $1. Now it's $40,000 plus. Early adopters are Bitcoin aristocracy. The accumulation dynamics. Land accumulation is self-reinforcing. If you own land, you can rent it to tenants, use income to buy more land, pass it to children who inherit wealth. Wealth compounds. Landowners get richer. Landless stay poor. Bitcoin has identical dynamics. If you own Bitcoin, price increases make you richer, use profits to buy more Bitcoin. Pass it to children. Wealth compounds. The inequality result. By 1500 AD in Europe, 2% of population owned 70% of land. This stayed constant for centuries. In Bitcoin today, 2% of addresses own 70% of all Bitcoin. Same concentration. The problem with fixed supply. When supply is fixed and demand grows, prices rise forever. This benefits early owners enormously, but it makes access impossible for later generations. Medieval peasant couldn't afford to buy land. Modern person can't afford Bitcoin at $40,000 plus. Fixed supply creates permanent wealth division between early and late adopters. But here's where it gets dark. Violence. Both land and Bitcoin created violence over ownership. Throughout history, land was the primary cause of war. Not religion, not ideology. Land. Every major war was about land. World War I. Germany wanted territory for Laban's. Ram. World War II. Same motivation. Napoleonic Wars. Territorial expansion, Roman expansion. Conquering land, Mongol conquests. Taking land. Even religious wars were really about land. Crusades were about controlling territory. 30 Years' War was about who rules which lands. Why? Because land equals wealth equals power. Bitcoin is starting to show the same pattern. Governments are trying to control Bitcoin through regulation. Nations are competing to dominate Bitcoin mining. Criminal organizations fight over crypto assets. Governments are considering seizing Bitcoin from citizens. El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as legal tender. Other countries are considering it. This is territorial competition over digital land. The inherent violence of fixed supply assets. When something valuable has fixed supply, the only way to get more is take from someone else. Can't create new land. Conquer someone else's land. Can't mine new Bitcoin. After all, are mined. Steal someone else's Bitcoin. This is why land ownership required violence. Armies, castles, legal systems backed by force. Bitcoin will face this too. As Bitcoin becomes more valuable, violence over its ownership will increase. Already happening. $5 billion plus in Bitcoin stolen through hacks, kidnappings of Bitcoin owners. Governments seizing Bitcoin through civil forfeiture, the control problem. Land couldn't stay truly decentralized and unconfiscatable. Governments found ways to control it. Taxation, land records, zoning laws, eminent domain, force. You might own land on paper, but government can tax it, forcing you to pay or lose it. Regulate how you use it. Seize it for public good. Devalue it through zoning changes. Bitcoin faces identical threats. Governments are developing crypto taxation and reporting requirements, bans on certain uses, potential confiscation powers, regulations that make Bitcoin less useful. Land proves that even scarce, decentralized assets can be controlled by governments. Bitcoin isn't immune. But here's what's interesting. Despite government control, land still preserved wealth across centuries. Case study. British aristocracy. Many British noble families have owned the same land for 500 to 1,000 years. Through wars, regime changes, economic crises, the Duke of Westminster owns 300 acres in London, worth $12 plus billion. His family has owned it since 1677. That land preserved wealth through English Civil War, multiple regime changes, Industrial Revolution to world wars, multiple currency devaluations, centuries of inflation. Land held value when currencies failed, when governments collapsed, when economic systems changed. The lesson for Bitcoin: if Bitcoin survives long term, it could preserve wealth. Similarly, through currency collapses, government changes, economic crises, technological disruption, but it faces challenges land didn't have to deal with. Challenge 1. Technology risk. Land can't be obsoleted by new technology. Bitcoin can. If quantum computing breaks Bitcoin's encryption, Bitcoin becomes worthless. Land doesn't have this vulnerability. Challenge 2. Network dependency. Land exists physically. Bitcoin exists only as network consensus. If the network fails, internet collapse, miner collusion, 51% attack, Bitcoin disappears. Land remains. Challenge 3. Lack of physical presence. You can defend land with walls, armies, force. Bitcoin defense is purely cryptographic. If cryptography fails or keys are lost, Bitcoin is gone. Land is much harder to make disappear. But Bitcoin has advantages, land doesn't. Advantage 1. Portability. You can't carry land to another country. You can carry Bitcoin anywhere through memorized seed phrase. This makes Bitcoin superior for wealth preservation during migration or escape. Advantage 2. Divisibility. Land is hard to divide. Bitcoin divides into 100 million satoshis. This makes transactions much easier. Advantage 3. No maintenance. Land requires maintenance, taxes, management. Bitcoin just requires keeping keys safe. Advantage for global accessibility. Land is local. Bitcoin is global. Anyone, anywhere can own Bitcoin. Land ownership requires local presence. So which is better for wealth preservation? Land or Bitcoin? The answer: both, for different scenarios. Here's what land and Bitcoin both teach us about wealth and power. Lesson 1. Scarcity creates inequality. Fixed supply assets naturally concentrate in few hands. Early adopters win. Late adopters lose. This isn't a bug. It's a feature of scarcity. Lesson 2. Wealth preservation requires security. Land required castles, armies, legal systems. Bitcoin requires cryptography, network security, legal protection. Both need force, physical or cryptographic, to protect ownership. Lesson 3. Governments will try to control valuable assets. Doesn't matter if asset is decentralized or unconfiscatable. If it's valuable, governments find ways to control it. Land through taxation and regulation. Bitcoin through similar methods. Lesson 4. Generational wealth is possible. Both land and Bitcoin allow wealth to pass across generations. This creates permanent aristocracy, not meritocracy, not equality. Aristocracy based on early adoption. Lesson 5. Fixed supply creates conflict. When you can't create more, you must take from others. This creates violence. Land ownership required armies. Bitcoin ownership will require cryptographic arms race. The future. Bitcoin enthusiasts believe it will replace land as primary wealth storage. Maybe, but more likely, both will coexist, serving different purposes. Land for physical presence and local power, productive use, agriculture, resources, traditional wealth preservation, collateral for borrowing. Bitcoin for portable wealth, international transactions, quick wealth transfer, escaping oppressive regimes. The wealthiest people will own both, just like medieval lords owned land and gold. Diversification across scarce assets, some physical, some digital. The warning: both land and Bitcoin create the same social problems: extreme wealth concentration, permanent inequality, violence over ownership. These aren't problems with specific implementations. These are problems with scarcity itself. Any fixed supply asset will create these dynamics, whether it's land, gold, Bitcoin, or future digital assets. The question isn't whether Bitcoin will succeed as digital land. The question is, do we want a world where wealth is permanently locked in by early adopters? Because that's what land did for 5,000 years. That's what Bitcoin will do if it succeeds. So here's what land teaches us about Bitcoin. Every promise Bitcoin makes: land made first, scarce supply, inflation-proof, decentralized ownership, wealth preservation across generations. No government can create more. Land did all of this for millennia, and it created aristocracy, inequality, wars, government control anyway. Bitcoin will follow the same pattern. Already is. 2% owns 70% of Bitcoin. Violence over Bitcoin ownership increasing. Governments finding ways to regulate and tax it. This isn't Bitcoin's failure. This is the inevitable result of any fixed supply wealth storage asset. Land proved it. Bitcoin is proving it again. Future scarce digital assets will prove it too. The lesson: scarcity is both the source of value and the source of problems. Makes asset valuable, but also makes it concentrating, violent, and ultimately controllable. What do you think? Is Bitcoin really different from land? Or just digital version of same dynamics? Drop your thoughts in comments, because 5,000 years ago, humans invented land ownership. It created wealth. It created inequality. It created war. It created aristocracy that lasted centuries. Now we've invented digital land ownership. It's creating wealth. It's creating inequality. It's creating conflict. And it will create digital aristocracy. Different technology, same dynamics, same results. Land was the original Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the digital land. Both prove the same thing. Scarcity creates value, and scarcity creates problems. The wealthy will stay wealthy. The early adopters will become aristocracy. The late arrivals will serve them. This happened with land. It's happening with Bitcoin. It'll happen with whatever comes next. Not because of technology, not because of policy, because of mathematics. Fixed supply plus growing demand equals permanent inequality. That's the lesson of land. That's the future of Bitcoin. Welcome to the digital feudalism. Same as the old feudalism, just with better encryption.